right, good morning. Here we are about to embark on a little walking tour of my neighborhood that my wife and I and our dog Iggy live in, called Kensington. Nice little quaint neighborhood a few miles inland. So here we are at the steps of our home where we live, just at the corner of Adams and Marlborough. And we're going to head west towards the 15, and we'll start from here and hope you enjoy it. This will be our tour guide today, Mr. Iggy. And we'll start here with the intersection of Adams and Marlborough, as mentioned. We'll wait for a vehicle before we can cross the street here. Now we've got a nice little park here that is a real great resource for the community. And there's also a public library right in the middle. So this would be considered the center of the community, and it's a great place where families and friends can join and come together to enjoy their outdoors and their community together. We've got some examples here of some typical architecture that we see in Kensington and throughout San Diego, of the Spanish Revival colonial style stucco homes, and we'll see more of that as we continue our tour. You see the park is being utilized quite well on a nice beautiful Sunday morning. And the library, a closer view. This is a great resource for the community and for the children. Well, while we're walking to our next location, I'll just tell you a little bit about Kensington. It was founded in 1910. A couple sisters had owned almost all this property, had inherited it from their family, and had sold it to some developers, and who eventually started all the community here. And you see how much it's grown over the past 100+ years into what it is now. Population of Kensington is only about 7,259 people, and so it's got a quite dense population for only being about a square mile community. Here's the other side of the park. This is one of Iggy's favorite places, and here we're gonna go get over to the central business district. It's quite small because Kensington is a relatively small area, but it's a very diverse strip with lots of restaurants and businesses that have been around for quite some time, as well as businesses that have recently sprung up. So we see a combination of some relatively new, modern style architecture, along with some older buildings that have been in the community for a little while longer. This sign right here is probably the most recognizable aspect of the community, the Kensington sign. This is a relatively new sign. It was actually the original sign was very old and was kind of in disrepair up until about 2008, and the community was wondering what to do with it. And they decided that they wanted to get it designated as a historical resource, which it was, but in an attempt to refurbish the sign, things did not go so well, and the sign became irreparable. And so they eventually did a rebuild, or a replica of the sign, and that's what you're seeing right now. And it's beautiful at nighttime. It has a great neon pink color, and it really lights the community up, and it's one of the things that the community is really well known for. And we'll continue west here. You see now with our modern lives, we have these scooters everywhere, and this is a recent addition to the community, this crosswalk here. There's a lot of traffic and a lot of foot traffic in this part, and people lobbied for a stoplight for a long time, and I think the community ended up deciding that this crosswalk was the right way to go, and it's really been a beneficial addition to the community for the safety of the pedestrians and the locals. Here's one of the more historic businesses on the strip. It's the Ken Club. It's kind of a fun little dive bar, and they have real good music that comes, and you can see a lot of the things are really taking the namesake of Kensington in their names, because it's a very proud community and lots of history here. And this is, of course, Adams Avenue. Adams Avenue used to be, I think in 1910, around when the neighborhood was founded, was a trolley line for the San Diego Electric Railway. And so this was an electric trolley, part of the greater system that San Diego had back in those days. And you can see right here at the 15, and that used to be just a small wooden bridge for that trolley, because you can see we've got the 15 is Ward Canyon, and Kensington has been described as a giant cul-de-sac, because there's really only one way in and one way out, aside from some small back roads that we just near where we started. So that's one of the reasons why it stays such a nice, close, tight-knit community. Here is one of the other historical pieces of the community, the Ken Cinema, which was founded in 1946, and is San Diego's only remaining single-screen theater. So that is kind of a fun little piece of history, and something that the community really takes pride in. And here we've got just the only bank in town, or in the community, and some medical buildings, and there's a lot of really great food and restaurants here as well. And people really come out in the evenings and on the weekends to enjoy the food that the community has to offer. I think we'll try to run across the street real quick so we can get back into the neighborhood. Why don't we go this way? So we'll go back east just a little bit, and we'll try to get you see an example of some of the architecture back in the neighborhood. The bridge I was just speaking of had an additional bridge added in 1913 to accommodate automobiles. Once those became more prevalent and accessible to the greater public, more affordable, I guess, most importantly. So it has since been converted into a major road that has a lot of traffic and goes right over the 15 freeway. Let's see. So we'll go into the neighborhood here, and we'll see a lot of that Spanish style and craftsman style homes, which are really make up the majority of the homes here in the community. You can see people are out and about on their Sunday, getting their day started. And the community actually enforced this Spanish colonial style of building for about 50 years by a local supervisory architectural board. So there was actually some requirements to have this Spanish style with the stucco exterior and the red clay roof tiles. And I don't know if anyone is too upset about it, because it is a very beautiful thing to walk around and enjoy, to see all these homes. And here you see an example of the other style that's very popular, the craftsman, which is really well known for these big front porches and beams and big triangular shaped roofs. But you can see the style varies with an average home price here in Kensington of over $840,000. So the demographic of this community is mixed, but is predominantly a Caucasian neighborhood. Lots of people have been here for a very long time and inherited homes and land from their families, and it's a pretty nice area. We certainly enjoy living here, and it has a lot to offer, and it has been described in the San Diego Reader. Here's another great example of a craftsman. Maybe actually has a blend of both styles, with a bit of a stucco or adobe feel to it, but also that big craftsman front porch, which is nice. So that, I would say, is a pretty good summary of the community of Kensington. You should come check it out if you never have. It's a great area with great people and a lot to offer, and described, as I was starting to mention, as the only real neighborhood in San Diego, because of the tight-knit community and people who really say hi to each other as they're out walking, and it's got a real nice neighborhood feel to it. So come on out and say hello. All right.